Now before we get started on today's video of me out and about trying to capture some photographs on a really disinteresting night, but where I managed to find interest in a further afield image using my zoom lens, I have an announcement to make. Finally, I've been talking about this since I think January. Finally, this September, I'm going to be launching my online print store. Now, as a photographer, I should have done this years ago, I know, but I wanted to ensure that I got it right. And to me, printing is quite a mind-boggling process. I have printed in the past and I've been reasonably happy with the results, but for doing this more professionally, I wanted to ensure that I got the right paper, the right printers, the right stuff to sign it with, the right boxes and that for packaging and sending them away, and it's just taken me a wee while to get my head around it all and ensure that I do it properly. But finally, after delays of getting hold of packaging because of COVID and all the kind of test prints and that I've been doing, I'm finally launching my print store this September. So if you're interested in buying any of my prints, stay tuned for that, and of course, in advance, thank you so much to anybody who does buy any, because it would mean the absolute world to me to be able to sell some of my prints. But I thought what would be really exciting to celebrate the beginning of this exciting print store process was to host a raffle for you, as one of my viewers, to win my first ever limited edition print. This is an autumn scene taking at Rogie Falls in the Scottish Highlands last autumn. I've picked this one because I think it's a nice image that would work well on pretty much anybody's walls. Everybody loves autumn, everybody loves a waterfall, and everybody loves trees. So in preparation for autumn as well, I thought I'd pick this as my first ever limited edition print. This is number 1. It's been signed, it's been named at the bottom, and it will be sent in this presentation box. It's wrapped in an eco-friendly cellophane wrap here to send out to you, and it will come with a certificate of authenticity, and it's open to anybody worldwide. To be in the chance of winning this, all you have to do is head to the description box below, click on the link to go to my website and enter. It's £2 to enter, but there's only 100 raffle tickets available. The winner will be announced at the end of September. Unless the tickets sell out sooner, then it will be announced sooner. And of course, I just want to say a huge thank you to anybody who does enter this. It's a real honour to be able to finally sell some of my prints. And yeah, the best of luck to you if you enter, and yeah, thank you very much. And another little announcement as well, when I was clearing out stuff the other day, I came across a bunch of old prints that I used to sell at markets, and yeah, I forgot how good they were, the quality of them, and they're all mounted. They're just A4 prints, so they're not going to be going on my website, but I am going to be selling these older prints on my Instagram and Facebook page in the coming weeks too. They'll be a lot cheaper, so they're very affordable. So if you want to, you know, own any of my older work that are, like I say, A4 mounted prints, head over to my social media channels now where you'll be able to purchase them. And if you want to purchase my really good quality fine art prints that are coming to my website in the coming weeks, stay tuned on here for the announcement. But let's get outdoors now and on to the big bulk of this video as I head to Burghead for an evening that I hoped would be good for photography, and it kind of was, but there were some challenges along the way. Stay tuned and find out what happens. I'll see you in Burghead. Well, today has been a horrible day of torrential rain downpours, but we are now getting close to golden hour and the sun, as you can see, is popping through the clouds. So I'm heading down the coast in the hope that we're going to get some dramatic light as these showers keep coming through and the sun begins to pour through those clouds. Fingers crossed. Let's go. Well, this evening is one of these evenings that's going to be a waiting game. That beautiful light that I was seeing was very fleeting, and now that I've got to the coast, we've got a very mixed bag within the sky. We've got a lot of cloud cover, as you can see, but within that cloud cover we've got quite a lot of openings, and we've got this nice breeze that's coming over as well, which is moving those clouds through the sky. Not particularly fast, but enough to create changes within the scene, which could potentially open up the horizon for us when sunset does happen. I've fallen victim to expectation, which is something I always tell people not to do when they go out to do photography. Don't go to a location expecting something to happen, because more times than not, it will not happen. There's still hope that there'll be some openings in the clouds in the very near future that will allow me to get that light over onto the pier that I had hoped for tonight. But it's not set in stone, and if I'm honest, there's more cloud now than openings, so I'm really not sure. But because I'm getting stuck in that mindset of expectation and disappointment, it means that I don't really want to get my camera out. So I just went for a walk over to the other side of the headland to try and just clear my mind, get a different vantage point, a different scope of this landscape. And when I was over there, I started to notice these beautiful colours in the clouds over the sea in this direction, and these beautiful shapes in the clouds as well that were beginning to open up. So because we've got a lot of incoming storms at the moment, we've all of these clouds rolling up over the hills, and it's allowing for some really interesting zoomed in cloud photographs. There's not that much interest in these images, but because we've got these rain showers over the hills and I'm struggling to find interest here with the dull light that we currently have, it's opening up new photographic opportunities. And now the rain started, so who knows what the next wee while has in store. But yeah, when you're starting to feel yourself getting in that disappointed frame of mind because the images you'd envisaged can't happen, go for a wee walk and start to think outside the box. What can you do with different lenses, different focal lengths, and try and come away with something, even if it's not what you'd envisaged or hoped for. It still gives you something to go home with. And I waited some more. And unfortunately, the conditions never manifested as I'd hoped they would. And of course, this feeling of expectation that I had this evening meant that by the end of it, because I hadn't have received that light that I'd hoped for, I ended up not finishing the video. But I wanted to still upload this video today because it's one of these videos that I would have made in the past and not uploaded. But I wanted to upload this one because I think it's got a really important message in it. And as I expressed on location, going to location with these expectations, it often leads to disappointment. And I've spoken about this before on this channel, but it's so important, I think, when we go out with our cameras not to have any expectations. But of course we are all human, and from time to time, especially when the light was as good as it was at the start of the video before I left home, you can get really excited about these evenings, and when you get on location you can be all, you know, excited about what might happen, and then when it doesn't manifest as you'd hoped, it can be very difficult to find the inspiration and motivation that you need to get creative. And that's exactly what happened that evening. I have to say though that I actually was really happy with how those images turned out. I mean, the images of the clouds that I sort of spoke about on location weren't particularly that amazing. I mean, they were interesting and I was finding these pockets of interest within the scene, but it was actually the snapshots that I took of the pier and the harbour that turned out really well, because they were coupled with this atmospheric light over the sea and these rain showers that were happening in the distance. And I'm actually really happy with those photographs. But on the night, I didn't think they were going to turn out very well. I didn't take any time really to think about them. I just got my camera out and took handheld snapshots of the scene, but they've turned out pretty well. So I wanted to end this video on this thought or this message that when you are out with your camera and things don't manifest as you'd hoped, still get your camera out and take some shots, because you might be surprised when you get home at what you have actually managed to capture. And it can be amazing sometimes by doing a bit of editing and, you know, thinking really deeply about the shots that you've taken and how you can make them, you know, look interesting, how you can come away with shots like that. I mean, I have to admit that all the images you've seen in this video have been edited a lot more than I would normally edit my photographs, but as many people say, editing is 50-50 of the process of doing photography, and on evenings like that, when the light wasn't particularly exciting, you can still come home with epic images that you can be happy with. You just have to maybe do a little bit more work with them on the computer. So yeah, the message of this video is, don't go to locations with expectations. But if you do, because we all do it from time to time, don't be too disheartened if things don't turn out as you'd hoped. Still get your camera out, still look for opportunities, and you may be able to salvage some of your images in post-processing when you get home. As always, I want to say a huge thank you for watching. Remember, if you'd like to enter the raffle for my first ever limited edition print, please click in the description box below to enter that competition. And yeah, as always, I look forward to seeing you all again next time, where I'll be back at the coast, but this time I'll be taking some images that I was really happy with, and some of which will be available to buy in print in the very near future. Thank you again.